Mary, your wife asked me to entrust you this letter. She told me you would be interested in this letter.
Well, thank you, Sebastian, but I'm the concerned recipient. May I be given the honor of being told who is my submitter?
This letter holds British military stamps, and it is signed by Mr. your son, Adam Rosebery.
Well, it's a good thing you expeditiously brought me this letter then, Sebastian. We haven't received a message from this rascal in weeks now. And it is true to say I was slowly experiencing worry and apprehension regarding Adam's situation on the French front.
You're welcome, sir. I do believe I'm doing my duty as a household butler.
You must be right, Sebastian. In such tough and moving times, only the most determined and committed members remain. I'm convinced fear and sensitivity must be erased in the face of wartime context.
Sir, if you please, let me return to my obligations. If ever you're looking for your devoted servant, I'll be in the living room, finishing the few arrangements for tonight's dinner.
Sure, Sebastian, go back to your occupations. Well, just try to inform me when the dinner is served.
Dear Mother and Father, times are hard here on the French front lines. Since the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, the war on the Western Front has settled into an attrition battle. Even though our condition in the trench line seems sometimes uncomfortable to me, I still proudly embody the strong will to defend our country that you instilled in me. And let me tell you, our nation can count on the help of its allies in this war. On the Eastern Front, the Russians have been successful waging war on the Austro-Hungarian army. They are strong battlers, and so are the French. I will also take advantage of this message to inform you and my dear mother the army decided to bestow me to highlight my bravery during our last offensive. As a general, I am now ahead of a group of soldiers. However, I've noticed one of my brothers in arms had been missing for a couple of weeks now, and I am sorry to announce his name is George Rosebery. I am currently doing my utmost to find out what happened to him, and I assure you, Father, that he will soon be back. Yours truly, Adam.
Dinner is served.
Alright, give me a second and I'll be downstairs.
So, honey, what was this letter about? You spent a long time reading it at your office, didn't you?
Well, of course you already know whom this letter was from. It's actually the first letter that we received from Adam since he left with the British Armoured Regiment.
Did Adam really send us a written message? With all the upheavals caused by the war on both civilian and soldier sides, I was wondering if a bombshell did not take my beloved brother away.
Mary, I do not allow you to say such things.
You should obey your mother, sweetheart. Didn't they tell you to watch your manners at the factory, young lady?
So, darling, do you want to tell us about this letter and its contents, please?
Please, Father, tell us more. It hurts not to be sure if Adam is in a good posture or not.
You know, I believe deeply that resolution and commitment are the sinews of battles. In the workplace, just like at war. Once again, these assets became significant in the career of your older brother, my dear Mary.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, Adam has always worn with pride the cause of our family, and he has always sticked to the values that your mother and I have settled inside our household. During his law studies, Adam Rosebery has never dropped a class nor missed a lesson. He has always kept going forward, and this is also true considering his love for our country. It is not risky to say it isn't by accident that he joined the army at the beginning of the war 2 years ago.
I still don't understand on what point this refers to Adam's situation at war.
Come on, darling. And don't forget to tell us about our son's letter.
Indeed, tonight I announce to you around this table and with much pride that our beloved son has become General Rosebery, and he's now from the British Armoured Regiment.
Oh, wonderful, but wait, I hope that it doesn't mean that we will be more exposed to dangerous situations now on.
Well, no. From now on, as a high-rank officer, Adam will be supervising the strategies from above. He already left the trenches lethal conditions for his office, and this decision was made to reward his courage during the last battle on the French front lines. I can already imagine his success when we win the war, and the growing wealth of my lawyer's bureau, as well as the increase of our family's influence.
Oh, so Adam Roseberry won't die at war, but hundreds of thousands other will for him. God bless the war!
Mary, how come you dare? Stop cursing this way immediately!
But Dad, what do you seem so sure suddenly? Isn't it enough of this pleasant piece of news for today?
Well, it is hard to admit. However, I was told by Adam a terrible and unexpected news related to your brother George. The army has lost tracks on his position, and George hasn't been seen in Adam's battalion for days.
How? But tell me that he isn't dead, right? Tell me that he hasn't passed away during a battle.
Nothing is sure yet. All I know is General Roseberry will keep us informed of his situation. They can still find him, just don't worry.
And what if he decided to embody wisdom and quit war with discernment? What if he adapted his behavior to this unreal situation and took advantage of it to flee away from the trenches? Dad, do you realize how this worldwide conflict is eroding people's feeling and physical strength?
Mary, I won't let you say such nonsense. Do I have to remind you your grandfather, a Rosebery, fought in the Napoleonic Wars at the beginning of the past century, and your uncle, a Rosebery as well, waged war against the Chinese army during the First Great Opium War? Our family is deeply enrooted in protecting our beliefs and country.
You definitely don't understand the severity of the current state of affairs. Recently, I met Mrs. Pankhurst at the factory. She's the leader of the suffragette movement. She also fights for her values. Even though she's a woman, Dad, she leads the fight in order to establish the right for women to participate in this country's decisions.
And what did this lady manage to convince you of?
Our condition is getting worse every day. The lack of workers due to their involvement caused women like me to take over jobs which were by the time assumed by men.
You know your assignments among the Arsenal Factory's workers help supporting men on the front line, providing them weapons and encouraging them to enlist.
Yes, but Dad, women are getting killed by explosive. We get grit in our eyes, and the stifling odor as well as the poisonous fumes are eroding our health. Shell making causes madness among us, and half of the girls in my factory department are too sick to become mothers. We want recognition for what we do. Most of us don't, and they don't mind dying for Great Britain.
Not to insist, but I really feel weak and fragile on this point.
Oh, come on. Women are so limited and vulnerable nowadays. But still, young lady, never has a Rosebery decided to give up on protecting the values of strength and commitment our family supports. Desertion isn't even an option for George. I would prefer him dead.
How can you?
I'm fainting.
Mrs. Roseberry feels weak. Let me take her to her room, please.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Oh, please do so, Sebastian.
Okay, let's go.
But Father, war has always made victims and has never helped launching a country's growth.
Mary, this is not about building Great Britain's economy. This is about fighting a mutual enemy who wants to take our great beliefs and values from us.
But people die on the front line as well as in the background.
Stop it now. I've had enough of this conversation. The debate is closed.
No, you cannot enter the room. It's not the fitting moment.
You! What are you doing inside my property? Tell me what you're doing here.
But Father, haven't you recognized him yet? It is George. He came safe home. How?
What are you doing here?
Father.
Why are you not on the battlefield helping your comrades? Have I brought up a coward all this time?
Father, please cease asking him all these questions. He does need some rest.
It's okay, Mary. I'm going to respond to our ignorant father.
Are you disrespecting me?
No, I'm telling the truth. The war we're facing is not a war. It is just massacre. You're talking about the comrades I left? I couldn't even consider them as my comrade. Sometimes spent the night, the luckiest spent a week, but all disappeared into the horror, the darkness, the mud, the blood, the bombing noises, the cries of my fallen brothers. If by chance some came back, It was never with their whole body, their whole flesh. Please trust me, Father. This war was not a war. It was just slaughter.
Every war is the same. They're all slaughters, but they are necessary to be fought for the pride of our nation and for the victory of our nation.
What victory are you talking about? Look at our country. Widows, crying mother, children starving and orphans.
Father, he is right. Almost every worker in my factory has lost a father for the youngest, a son for the eldest, a brother or a friend.
Keep quiet, Mary. It is the price we have to pay. I won't let all those bloody Germans come to our lands, burn our houses, rape our women, and kill our children.
Father, how could you say that in front of Sebastian? He has always been faithful to our family. German people are like us. They're human beings.
For God's sake, Mary, get out of this room. You know nothing about war. You don't know what men are more likely to do during war period. Sebastian, please accompany Miss Rosebery to her room.
Sure, sir.
Father, why are you so harsh with her? She wasn't reprehensible. You were. The Germans we were fighting were boys like us, crying for their mother like us, scared like us, betrothed to murder like us. I thought you were smarter, that they didn't have a herd mentality. But I was wrong. You were thinking that they want you to think.
Nobody is telling me how to think.
So you find this war normal? Tons of bombs, shells made every day by women working in gloomy factories, are thrown on us, soldiers, killing boys from both sides. Do you find normal to be fighting for months, losing thousands of men only to conquer 10 meters? Do you find normal to dig a 15-meter deep trench only to hope not to be buried alive? And if by chance you survive this hell, you're killed by your own brothers, you shot at dawn. Living this hell is worse than what you could ever imagine. It's worse than dying. I started being jealous of those who died.
But why didn't you tell us when you wrote us letters?
We weren't allowed to do it in order not to dishearten you. The war I thought you were making was crucial for this war to continue, eating voraciously sons of thousands of mothers. I was horrified. I didn't want to shoot those innocent boys down. Sometimes they were just at the morning of their lives. Why shall I kill them? Tell me. Because they're blonder? Because they don't speak the same language? I beg your pardon, Father. I didn't die on the battlefield for a motherland that I couldn't stand anymore. I hope you could ever understand my choice.
Eventually, this house is calm. And still, I believe it is not sleeping. This war is consuming all families, burying fathers, mothers, sons, daughters. No one is spared. If they don't lose their life, they lose their mind. I'm feeling myself consumed. I love you, England, my motherland. I love you, Germany, mein Vaterland. How could I ever be able to choose between you two? Why do men have always to fight each other? If we were all brothers, if we were all human beings, we wouldn't have to fight. George!
If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field, that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sons of home.
And think, this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind, no less gives somewhere back the thoughts by England given. Her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter, learnt of friends and gentleness, in hearts at peace, under an English heaven.